All right, you lovely people. Happy Wednesday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Them hands going, get them smiles flowing. We're going to have a great Wednesday. Hump day. Hump day. So I'm going to turn the reins over this morning. And one of the reasons is the word for today is communicate. And I really want us all to kind of think about our life, where we're at in our different professions. And I want you to think about this word and think about you and the people you're surrounded with in life right now. How can you create, I believe, better cooperation within your unit of people? And I think it's creating better communication. Even for you people out there that go, I do communicate, I am this. Think of even better ways to communicate. There's a program right now that we've been a part of. It's called Telegram. And Telegram is a great program. If you look into it, if you've not, but it's a different way to communicate with your people. And I want to always be looking for ways to keep people plugged in and engaged and feeling like they're being communicated with. So it's going to be a great morning, but I'm going to turn the reins over to Andrea Rosser. So I got my pen and I'm listening, Andrea.
All right. Well, this was a fun one this morning. I really enjoyed it. So communicate. What in the world does that mean? Share or exchange information, news, or ideas. And if you are communicating with someone, you are sharing and exchanging information with them, for example, by speaking, by writing. I guess there's a variety of ways. And every single one of us, like, I don't think there's a single person on here that thinks, oh, well, communication isn't important, right? Like, we might think I'm really great at communicating. They're not, right? Like, we kind of think that's one of those things that we all think we're pretty dang good at, but then you kind of look in the mirror and go, shoot, I kind of do some of these things, but we all know how important it is. But so many, and I'm raising my hand right here, can be guilty of not giving true communication the attention it deserves. And it can help us foster and maintain relationships. It helps us avoid conflict. And it even, this is the most important part, it even increases our likelihood of getting what we want when we're good at it, right? But how? How do we communicate better in our busy, distracted, stress-filled, like selfish selves? Like, how do we learn to communicate better? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the first one, don't lie. Now that sounds so obvious. Like, I don't think there's a single person on here that decides to walk through their life and lie about anything. I don't think there is. But I also think so many of us are guilty of those little bitty lies that stop communication. So think about this. Somebody asks you, how are you doing today? And you slept poorly and your dog had an accident on the rug. And that didn't happen, just in case my landlord thinks that. Different things happen and you are a grumpy bunny, but somebody asks you, how are you doing today? And you're going to say, I'm fine. Now, we all know that that's a lie. Now, sometimes that lie is appropriate. If it's the clerk at the grocery store, they do not need to know that you had an upset stomach last night, right? So the fine is probably appropriate right there. But what about with your inner circle? Like, have you ever, maybe you're supposed to go over the budget with your significant other that morning, but you slept horribly and you have a bellyache or whatever it is, and you're already grumpy, and this is going to be an uncomfortable conversation. Like, instead of that fine, communicate and say, you know what? I don't think this is the best time for us to have that hard talk right now. Can we reschedule it? Or, with a boss or a coworker where they stop you in the hall and they're like, hey, I need you to. And if you're like me, my knee-jerk reaction is to say, okay, and write it down. But really, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am so overwhelmed right now. I can't put one more thing on my plate. So I have to not lie. I have to have that moment of a little bit harder honesty to say, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed at this moment. What can we shuffle to make sure that that fits in right onto the list? Something like that. Just that little bit of communication can help foster that relationship and move forward. And those little small truths all add up, right? All those little small truths help us feel more connected and to communicate more clearly. Second one, be kind, right? Does anybody walk around saying, I'm going to be a jerk today? Probably not, right? But be kind, especially in writing. I don't know about what you guys do. I know what I do. I get a lot of, you can't even see it, but I get a lot of text messages, and we're all busy. Every single one of us is busy. But I'll tell you, you know how much a hi, how are you? I had a question does to that text message? Because when somebody jumps in, I need, do this, whatever, it doesn't feel good and it's not communication. So take that extra second just to do the little niceties, the little kindness, and as you communicate. 3, listen actively. Have you ever had a conversation with somebody where you're like, are you there? Did you hear what I just said? Right? Where you don't know if you're actually communicating or if they're, mentally completely checked out and doing something else. So if you're the listener, try to slow down a little bit and actively listen and then give those cues. So if you're together, nod, smile if it's appropriate, or frown if that would be better. Show your body language that you are engaged in the communication. And if you're on the phone, do the little sounds that we all make when we're listening. Right? Don't interrupt, but just the encouraging sounds so that they know, okay, this person is actually engaged in this conversation. And then 4, agree to disagree. Thankfully, and I'm going to say thankfully, we don't always agree with each other. I've had some amazing debates with some of the folks right here on this little community, right? Where like, how in the world do we not see eye to eye on this? But what I love about that is every time we can have a respectful disagreement, we all grow, right? You can try to see something from somebody else's perspective. And sometimes we're never going to get together on that, but that's okay. As long as we're respectful and we agree to disagree, we can still communicate really, really well. 6, be assertive. So by clearly expressing what we're thinking, feeling, and what we want, we're communicating so much more powerfully. We might not get it, right? We might not get exactly what we want, but if we're assertive and clear, we are much more likely to. And then lastly, engage. So in any communication with anyone, be it a phone call or even an email, be engaged in that task. So, try to shut off as many distractions as possible, focus in on that person, and really try to be present. So that's what I had today, Palmer. Thank you.
All right. Coach Myra.
You're a co-host. There you go.
Have a great day. Go Rebels.
Oh,
Okay, sorry about that. Mr. Mann jumped on earlier than he was supposed to today, so Andrew, that was perfect timing. He didn't get to, y'all missed a lot of Mr. Mann screaming on the PA system. So anyway, good morning. Always great to see y'all. I feel like I say that all the time, but it is truly the truth. To be able to start the day with you guys is amazing. So communicate. And like Andrea said, I think we all feel like we're pretty good communicators, but I can be quite honest and say, I suck at it sometimes. So let me ask you, do you feel like you're a good communicator? Well, we probably all could agree that we're really good at communicating sometimes, and we're really bad at it sometimes. So I'm going to go quickly through a list that I came across that I thought was really fantastic. So here are a few signs that will help you determine if you are a good communicator. So you may want to write these down and refer back to these all the time when you're wondering if you are. So number 1, are you approachable? Gosh, I think of some of the greatest communicators I've ever been around. It's almost like they're a magnet. I want to go and talk to them. They're just unbelievable on how they can communicate and get their message across. So are you approachable? Then the second one is, do you listen? Like Andrea said, we all been in conversations where we're staring at this person and you're wondering, hey, hello, are you there? And you can see it in their eyes. So are you a great listener? Not just a good listener, you need to be a great listener, and are you well spoken? Listen, I am as country as the day is long. There's probably times that I am not very well spoken as far as being grammatically correct on everything, but that's part of me. So those are areas that I've got to work on. So am I open-minded? I think I'm pretty open-minded. What do you think? What do you think about yourself? You need to be open-minded if you're going to be a great communicator. Are you authentic and honest? Like Andrea said, don't lie. Are you authentic? Do people know when they sit down with you or have a conversation on the phone, do they feel that you are authentic and they're getting the real you? What about your body language? How's your body language today? When people are talking to you, how's your body language? Look at yourself sometime. Watch others. I watch others. When I'm having a staff meeting, sometimes I can pick out immediately who's in tune with Myra and who is out of tune with Myra. And 99% of the time, the ones that are not listening, guess what? They come back and ask questions within 2 days. So let me ask you this. Do you have a positive attitude? And do you inspire others? It's so easy for us to get in our own little silo and not get out of our silo and be inspirational to others. Another thing, I know Andrea is on the daggum phone all the time. The thing I can say about Andrea is, if you're a great communicator, you reply to phone calls, you reply to emails, you reply to messages promptly. And she's a perfect example of that. It may be an hour or two, but she gets on that promptly. I know I need to do a better job of that. Are you reliable? If you tell someone you're going to do something, do you do it? And like Andrea said too, agree to disagree. Can you debate with someone without getting upset or rude? Are you patient? You always need to remember, you always connect with who you are communicating with. If you're eye to eye with them and you just let your guard down, you're going to be able to communicate easily with them. Communication is such an important skill. Without it, the world could not function each day. People who are great at communicating are often the glue that holds things together. Andrea, especially in a work environment or a stressful situation. I'm going to leave you with 3 quotes that I came across as far as that were directly involved in the communicate word. There's only one rule for being a great communicator. Learn to listen. Learn to listen. Communication works for those who work at it. And finally, which I love this, music is the greatest communication in the world. Even if people don't understand the language that you're singing in, they still know good music when they hear it. So today, when you go out, really look to be a better communicator, because each and every one of us are going to have about 10 opportunities today to be a really good communicator. So I hope y'all have a great day. Rebels got big basketball tonight, won a big game last night. So go Rebels, go Coach's Corner. Love y'all. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Coach, thank you so much. Andrea, thank you. Great word today. Great message. Good luck to the Rebels tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
And happy hump day. Let's go out and rock the world. We'll see you back here on Thursday. Love you guys. Grateful for you.
See ya.
Love you
Thanks.
guys. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Wonderful.
Thanks, guys. Bye, y'all.
Thank
Have a
you,
great day.
everybody. Have a great day.
So